This is Lana Jefferies. Lana, you used to live near Buckhorn or
the Gasconade River.
And you have experience with Bigfoot.
Most certainly. I couldn't explain it to be anything else.
Can you describe some of the experiences that you had?
Well, there was times there on the property that we lived on the farm on the Gasconade as we sit on the embankments fishing or kayaking, playing on the river. And multiple times I heard a lot of tree knocking. And through the time we'd be on the river during the day, right across from us, which would be conservation land. And I'd also hear like trees falling periodically during those times along them embankments. Also, anyway, so my discoveries with it would have to be Bigfoot. There's times in front Fort Sitting, which is a mile from that embankment, which I was speaking of. It's sound like silverback gorilla sounds from a mile.
Oh, like hoo-hoo and ha-ha and all that stuff?
No, silverback gorilla. Angry, snarling, more growly, like what a monkey would do, but louder.
Yeah. You know,
bigger sound.
Do you know if any of your neighbors ever kept wild animals and that could have been the source of it?
I didn't have any neighbors, and I didn't have any neighbors, so there was time I heated the outdoor furnace, and in the night I would wake up when it would cool 2:30, 3:30 in the morning, and it was cold. It was cold weather. It was no leaves on the trees, winter time, and I had to slip on my boots and throw a coat on and flip on the porch light, and I come out on that porch and I got down them steps, took about 2 steps, and the most wailing, moaning, groaning, gnashing sound came out of that river bottom, and it echoed the whole bottom, and it went on, and it was not a mountain lion, it wasn't a coyote, it wasn't the donkey or any of the animals at the farm. It was not farm animals. And I've been too close to mountain lions and seen too many and heard too many to know that that was not a mountain lion or a bear. It has to be the Bigfoot, I believe.
Have you ever heard of the Missouri howler, the Ozark howler?
I think I might have heard somebody say that prior.
Do you think it could have been the Bigfoot or the Ozark howler?
I would believe that it would be the same thing. They don't know either, they just heard it.
Yeah.
Like I did. Stopped me in my tracks. It was long, it lasted these moments, and I stopped, and as soon as it quit, it was like, do it again. And I was the only person there, you know, to hear it, as far as I knew, on the farm. But very interesting. Wish I could have gotten on audio.
How many knocks did you hear when you heard tree knocks?
Oh, multiple knocks. There would be multiple knocks within short periods of time, hanging out You know, 30 minutes, hour, couple hours down there during the daylight, during daytime. Any time of daylight hours, I could hear tree knocking across the river on conservation land.
Wow.
And it's conservation across there.
So it wasn't someone with an axe, it was actually tree knocking.
It puts if a tree falls in the wood and nobody sees it but can hear it, you know, is it really a tree falling in the woods?
Yeah.
I don't
So
know.
you're saying the tree falling in the woods could be Bigfoot making his territorial sound or something?
And sometimes dead trees fall in the woods, such as limbs, windy days, storm brewing, you know, winds can shift and turn and spin, because I've experienced quite the winds down there in the river bottom. But
Have you ever seen any trees that were kind of felled together at the top? They were kind of crisscrossed or something? That's supposed to be a sign of Bigfoot.
I'm going to say I've probably seen some of those things through my years of being in the woods, but to pinpoint down there, particularly not on the farm that I ever recognized.
Did you ever see
On forestry, conservation maybe, those lands I've seen things kind of leaned, stacked maybe, yeah. Awkwardly somewhere out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. You see any trees kind of tied over and left that way and allowed to grow back up? Those are supposed to be marker trees too.
I've seen those. There was one on the farm, you could see it from the dirt road, it's still there today.
And do you know if anybody's rebuilding those, replacing them?
No, not to my knowledge.
They're supposed to be marker trees leading to water or a food source.
Well, that particular tree that's been on the farm is pretty close to a pond.
Bigfoot on the farm. Conservation.
I believe.
And when did you hear the howling? You said about 2 o'clock in the morning?
That was, I moved almost 7 years ago out of state, so prior to that it was before 2013.
Did you ever see any tracks out on the farm?
No, he didn't. I'm always looking because I was a hunter. So I hunted and I was looking for tracks. I mean, I've seen bear tracks, I've seen deer tracks, you know, and smaller critters, the possums, the coons, the possible skunks, and anything else, minks that are nocturnal. I mean,
I know I was floating with you once. We heard tree knocking up on a ridge.
we heard that knocking at the same place as I would hear it when we were floating around the farm, because it's that stretch of the Gasconade around 3.5 miles around the farm. And so when we heard that, I do recall that it was right in the same area across from the embankment on the farm, across the river from us. Same area. I do remember that because that was not only once, but more than once.
Do you think it was trying to let you know that this is my territory, stay off?
Maybe they do it out of boredom or communicating with each other. I don't know.
Did you always hear more than one, like in 2 different places, 2 or 3 different places?
I was pretty keen in on listening to that area.
So it was just that one area?
That one area, because I was really keen into that. Just listening at home.
So you didn't hear
Something
anything
that's
respond to it?
No, not that I could recall that, but I don't think so. And that doesn't mean that 2 of them aren't responding to each other. There's not more than one. I also had neighbors up the road a few miles where I called them neighbors. I say I didn't have neighbors because I didn't live around anyone. However, the neighbors 2.5 miles up the road, where they began at the time, had talked about camping around the same eddy on the farm, whereas they had rocks thrown in them, scared to death through the night on the water catfishing.
Big rocks.
Big rocks being thrown at them in the water, towards their boat as they were fishing and camping around the farm on the Gasconade over the years past.
Yeah, that's definitely Bigfoot.
I do believe that. Same area that I would hear.
Okay, well that's been Lana Jefferies telling us about her experiences with Bigfoot in the Missouri Ozarks. Thank you, Lana.
Quite welcome.
And we're off.